All right, man. One second. One second. It's a live on both. Right, so arms, but you want to learn the right first and foremost. When you all phrases to the most high, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, that's when you get the man for us. And the elders great hands on. All the brothers and the elders. It's sincerity, right? It's upon your house. Now, we're stepping into the Lord, up in the plagues, up in the judgment, revealing the truth and showing you who the devil is. So many ways. All right? But our people are still stuck on stupid. They're still in this mindset of trying to find success in this world. They think the solution to our problem is our problem is spiritual. They think the solution to it is a carnal problem. I mean, a carnal solution. Get in the bag isn't going to lift the person off. Okay? Buying black and praying our dollars together, that's not going to get us out of the situation that the Lord put us in. All right? But only those who've been given the eye salve, the gift of faith, are going to be able to perceive those things. These people, they can't perceive things in the spirit. They don't know what all these things that are happening in earth. They don't understand, really why it's happening. When the scriptures tell us, okay? So the first precept I'm going to go get, obviously I'm going to go get Revelation 19:10. Pinpoint prophecy. Pinpoint the verses that were put on, things that were foretold to happen. Okay? Somebody can't break down the things that were foretold to happen in the scriptures. How much shine we build it. Okay? The scriptures give us this equation. So Revelation 19 and verse 10. Okay, it says, and I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, an angel. An angel came to John the Revelator. Right? He said, hey, he co-workers. Okay? Whereas the prophet came set up here on this side as angels, as messengers on his behalf, so that the elect can hear the word, be converted, be quickened, and be delivered out of destruction that's foretold to happen to this place. No level of success that you reach within this society is going to allow you to obey destruction that the Lord has given in this place. Okay? It's spiritual. Right? Let's go to it. It says, see thou do it not, I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Right? The Lord. It says, worship Yahweh, because God. Worship God, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So if Yahushua is really dealing with a person, if his spirit is on a person, they're going to be able to go into prophecy. They're going to break down, hey, this is why this happened. This is what's going to happen. Your pastor's in the pulpit with $1,000 suit. They're not going to prophecy. Most of these Christians, man, they're not going to prophecy. The one that try to go into prophecy, they butcher it. They can't link it up with the volume of the book. See, that understanding is reserved for prophets. Okay? So, everybody pull this up, right? Yeah, the outside. If you go to Deuteronomy 18 chapter 1 through 14, it's all the blessings that will fall upon the people. Right now, none of those things fit up there, right? But all of the purposes, 15 through 68, fit up to the T. Okay? And it was already told to us that there was no fun escape to our situation. Okay? But it was we're told us that we were always on the borrowing side of things. Down here in here, starting verse 43, Deuteronomy 28, 43. It says, the stranger that is fit shall get up above you very high, thou shalt come down very low, and you're going to be at the bottom of society. You're going to be looked at as the lower class of people. It's wherever you go. All right, so-called black Latino people are looked at as the bottom of society, regardless if you have token athletes, token musicians, token actors. We're seeing the high esteem. The majority of our people, wherever we go, we're looked at as the bottom. So, verse 44 says, he shall lend to thee, thou shalt not lend to him. You're in a position to lend, especially in this society. The banking families, they do the lending. All right? So there's a people that fit the criteria of who will be primarily oppressing us. Don't get me wrong, all the nations oppress the nation of Israel. All right? So all the nations oppress the nation of Israel. But there's one chief nation in the scriptures that say will be oppressing us, and that's Esau. All right? And not only are we pointing them out, all the other nations are pointing them out at this point in time, and the whistleblowers of his own people are pointing them out. Okay? Taking over right here, verse 44, Deuteronomy 28:44, it says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So it was put on our condition, it was a condition put on the nation of Israel that we will be at the bottom of society. And you can't overturn that with a carnal solution. Our people think there's a carnal solution to our spiritual problem. So that's why majority of them, they're going to pass on the side. They're going to perish. That's what we say, people shall perish for their lack of knowledge. All right? Did you read that again, bro?
Deuteronomy 28, verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
All right? So at this point in time, I see that I put that video of P. Diddy yesterday. But he was saying, basically, then y'all don't want to fight. We don't got no capital. We don't control none of the wealth. Now, let me tell you something. That nigga not concerned with our people. It's just that God is his money. And he don't want nobody over him. He wants the most money he can get because that gets access to people and things. But a lot of our people have that mindset of they're going to fight back economically. The scriptures won't allow it. The Lord put those conditions on us to be a sign and a wonder to end. The curses get lifted off of us upon the return of the Lord. So you can squirm and struggle all you want to. At the end of the day, the Lord put those conditions on us as a whole, as both people. Right? In Revelation 22:3, it tells you that then there shall be no more curse. And that's upon the return of the Lord. So right now, what we ought to do is to seek righteousness, seek meekness, so that we may be in the day of the Lord's anger, like it talks about in Zephaniah 2:3. Okay? And be occupied in what? Prophecy. So that's a big identifier who you should be learning from. People you should be learning from are going to be going into prophecy. You got something, brother?
Haggai 1 in verse 5. Now therefore, thus said Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye are clothed. Ye clothe you, but there is none more.
Right. So there's nothing, there's no relief from the condition that the Lord put on us, man. There's no carnal relief from it. It's what this is highlighting. brother put in the chat, what's that dude, that white guy? He was like, I gotta pay, you gotta pay 20 people $200 a month.
Right.
You're subject to payments in this place. You're subject to payments to a point to where you're working just to exist.
Right.
You're not working to live. We're not living. We're working to exist. You got more on that?
And he that earned the wages to put it into a bag with holes.
All right, you live in paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
You can't save. You can't build anything. So we gotta come together and build. And let me put it to you like this: every time our people did come together and try to build, the Lord allowed this devil to come through and tear that shit down. Every time.
Even contemporarily, huh? But you got these various celebrities that try to buy certain assets that will make them money. Guys like Michael Jackson, he had the catalog of various artists like the Beatles. That was just one, you know. So they was cool. They came up against him. You had P Diddy. He tried to buy Sprite. That's when all the allegations came out. Bill Cosby tried to buy I believe it was either NBC or CBS.
It was one of them.
One of them. Yeah. One of those. And guess what happened? He was brought on charges that happened 50 years ago.
Yeah. Brought up on charges of sexual deviance. Now let me tell you something. In Hollywood, when you to reach certain levels of success, you hear story after story after story. They want you to indulge in some kind of sexual deviancy, so that if you ever step out of line, they can throw that at you. And when you throw sexual deviancy at somebody, it's hard for anybody to look past.
Yeah.
So in the public eye, nobody will want to hear what he was trying to do this and that. It's the worst allegations to have.
I was like, "Nigga, you nasty. Shut up."
Nasty, shut up.
Yeah.
So that's why he wants you to indulge in some kind of sexual deviancy.
We can even take it back to the 1900s after during the Reconstruction era. You know, that's the era that was right after the Civil War. Well, what happened? You know, you had Jake that was, built businesses and things of that nature. You know, building cities. Cities like Tulsa, Oklahoma, so-called Black Wall Street. You know, and what happened? He saw the king came around and tore it down. You even had cities here in Texas. No, a lot of people don't know about that were burned down or confiscated by Eastside.
I did a lesson some years ago showing you all the flood towns through the southeast.
Yep.
It was over 100 towns they flooded that was booming economic.
Yep.
There's a town right down the street from where I grew up in Orlando called Oconee, where man, he was selling oranges and watermelons.
Yep.
And he was booming economic. He was a millionaire in his time. And they came and said that man touched somebody or touched some white folks. They came and burnt that shit down. Now you're gonna go it. It was an upper class white community, and then they kind of down to take it back in there.
Yep.
But they flooded that shit. This is how this white man moved, and he's been allowed to move this way by the Most High as a whooping stick, and because those conditions they put up. So again, there is no carnal solution to our spiritual problem, and that's what a lot of our people are sold, man. When this devil come out with that chip, all they can see is carnal conditions. So that's the only option that's put in front of them. They're gonna fold and take it, thus making themselves an enemy of the Most High. See? Yeah, that I got one more.
Yes, sir. I got one in verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none born. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
I tried to save some money a couple months ago. That shit.
Forget about it.
I did everything right.
I'm starting going here.
Yeah.
Shit.
It just the Lord had it to where little shit came here. You gotta pay for it. You gotta get it. Damn, shit just started coming out of nowhere. I said, damn, Lord. You know, and don't get me wrong, there's gonna be some brothers that have particular things they're able to do. They, as a whole, as a family, not gonna be able to. The Lord just don't want that to be. Plus, especially for the men of the Lord, He have us have just what we need. Because we want us to stay focused on this. Right. He don't really let us have an abundance of things. It's rare that you'll come across a brother that's just an abundance and stuff.
Yeah. If that's the case, you probably do.
Yeah. But as he starts to labor in this thing for a long thing, the Lord starts to strip it back. Starts to simplify that brother's life so he can focus on the mission. That's just what it is, man. You know, and that makes some brothers sad. But get over there and shit, man. We about to have an abundance that you can't even fathom. This is the investment. The investment is being low in. And then embracing it. Like, you know what? Let's do the work. This is Zephaniah. Oh, you got something? I got something. This is Zephaniah 2 and 3. Now, this is the solution to our spiritual problem. The obedience that the Lord requires us to have. Okay? Zephaniah 2 and 3 says, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Now, I mentioned earlier, because of our disobedience, the Lord put those conditions on us. That was a spiritual aspect, okay? Spiritual consequences for our disobedience. Now, to reverse that, this has to take place, all right? Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have brought his judgment. Seek righteousness. What's righteousness? Following after the Lord's way. Walking in the spirit, right? Seek meekness. It may be you shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Now, when you get into the scriptures in full, you understand that when he comes back, he ain't handing out candy or roses. He's handing out judgment or deliverance. Okay? You want to be a part of that small few that's going to be delivered out of destruction in this place. America, this society as a whole, except for demolition. Okay? So are you going to invest in a house, start renovating a house that's set for demolition? It's about to be torn down? No. But 2/3 of our people, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it says something.
Okay.
Make me thinking about this Proverbs 30 and 8.
Okay, go ahead.
Proverbs 30 and 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies.
Mm.
Give me neither poverty nor riches. Fill me with food convenient for me. So you don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. But you want to have just enough to where you can take care of your household, you know, get your daily bread. And of course, you want to have a little money saved up. Of course, you want to have a little money, say you want to go on a vacation, something like that. Ain't no wrong with that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But when you start stealing like, man, I need 300K.
That's when you in the danger.
I need about 300K. You know what I'm saying? I need a credit line about half a mil.
Yeah.
Or about 50K. In credit. You know what I'm saying? That's when you start tripping.
Because it pulls you away from the mission.
Yeah.
Now, if you know how to use your money to afford the will of the Lord might let you have particular things. But we don't really need money. Can be a defense, but to do exactly what we're doing right now, for the word to go out to the four corners of the earth, do we really need an abundance of money?
Nah.
What would we now as we get closer to, Jacob's trouble and us being taken off the streets? The Lord might temporarily bless brothers with certain money so we can have, particular things. But right now, for this stage, that's not a necessary thing to fulfill the will of the Lord.
Right now, he has us in a humble state because, he wants, like your brother said, he wants us focused on the good of the heavenly. When you have your own business, you have to live that business. All right? You're the most expensive person that you have to pay is employees. So you're probably more than likely you're going to minimize how many people you hire, right? So you're wearing many hats. Now, okay, say you're an owner operator of a truck. Well, you're the owner operator, but you got to think about the backside too. You're responsible for the paperwork. You're responsible for uh, keep it up with cash flow, right? Accounting, things of that nature, you know. So after you get off of work, man, you gotta make sure you're going over your books to making sure that you know you're being responsible for how much money you're spending. That takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, right? You're working, you know, 13-hour days, 15-hour days, you know, just to make sure that that business is sustainable. Because, you know, more than likely, starting off in a business, you're going to be in the red. Yeah, you might have certain cash flow, certain, certain assets or funding. But that funding, you know, it's credit. Now, credit can be good or bad, depending on, you know, what you're doing with it, right? Traditionally, we talk to use credit when we're down and out, but the rich, they use credit, you know, when they're trying to make more money. So they create a term called cash flow. Well, even if you're doing it that way, bro, that takes a lot of discipline and effort and thinking about that money. You know,
You know how much time you really got in a day here to do the work and do that. And you mentioned the employees. You got employees, bro. You're responsible for them having a stream of income to feed their family.
all right.
So you really got to be all in, all about your business. You can't be all about your business and all about the course.
Right.
Can't do both.
It's gonna show, bro.
Yeah.
Trust me, bro. It's gonna show every time, man. We ain't talking like we novices in this arena, man. You know, we're talking from experience, bro.
You just can't do both.
You can't, you can't. You just gotta take your ass to work.
This you got something? I got something.
Go ahead.
This Philippians 4 and 10, no 11, because a lot of people they read verse 13, but they don't get the fullness of what it's talking about. God can do all things, right? It's Philippians 4 and 11. It says, "Not that I speak in respect of wants. Oh, I need I need this. I'm looking. No, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content." You learn that it is true.
Right.
You learn to be grateful for your daily bread.
Yep.
I know both how to be abased, brought low, and I know how to be abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. Then it goes on to say, I can do all things through the Mashiach, which strengtheneth me.
So you have these highs and lows, and it's true. You know, one year you might be on,
Might be good.
balling, 10K in the account.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You like, hey, bro, you know, you looking like, yeah, you know,
Yeah, it's on me.
it's on me, man. It's something to eat, man. You want you enough spirit, man. Get you enough spirit, man. It's gonna be all right, man.
It's on
Yeah.
me, brother.
Yep.
Yeah.
That next year, you might be shade, brothers. You know,
God, somebody,
I
help
need,
out.
I need some, you know what I'm saying? But these highs and lows, that's what you have to go through. It's true. And most people, you know what I'm saying, they're not willing to go through that. They're not willing to go through these highs and lows, especially other camps. You know what I'm saying? These other camps are centered around popularity.
Yeah.
And the reason why they want to be popular is because they want to attract more members. More members equates to more money. Yeah. Especially if you have certain items you can sell to them. Say, for instance, fringes, you know what I'm saying, shirts. You know, you can give these people arbitrary titles to make them feel entitled. You know what I'm saying? You're a real nigga over 100. 100 goons. You know, like ISUPK.
Yeah.
Right? And they're doing that because it pleases the flesh.
Yeah.
Well, it talks about that in what's it? Second Peter's, the making merchandise of the congregation, Lucifer paraphrase. You see?
Yeah, man. So that's the whole thing about walking this walk is to separate from the flesh. When you begin to realize your value comes from your usefulness to the Lord. So your spiritual assets. You understand? But a carnal person, they equate their value with the things they have. Yeah, they equate they value with the things that they have or the title they have. I'm a real nigga, I'm 100.
Yeah.
They equate their value with carnal things versus equating their value with their usefulness to the Lord.
Right.
And that's in the days to come, you're gonna have to make a decision what you hold value. Hey, come on. Nah. When you talk about Matthew the 6th chapter, it goes into those who store their riches up on this side and those who store their riches up in the kingdom of heaven. So those who understand their value comes from the spiritual side of things, those are the people who are going to be able to weather the storm, and the Lord's going to be right there to pick them up when they fall. But those people that are invested in their possessions, they let their possession possess them like Lot's wife, they're going to be left here and melted. You don't got nothing.
I got it before that. It's the proverb.
Yeah, man.
Which, Proverbs 30:8. Remove from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food and being for me, lest I be full, deny thee, and say, who is your house? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of your house, of the Lord, or the Most High in vain, right? So you want to be, you don't want to be too high to where you get pompous, and you want to be too low to where you out here doing some Stevie stuff and then ask the Lord for forgiveness.
Yeah, man. Just to have that happy meeting. Look up the term happy meeting, like the elder said. Never want to get too high, too low. All right? You just want to do what you're supposed to do your job, and go home. Do your job, just keep your head down and grind and do the work. And when you look up at the end, your reward will be there. But you got a lot of people, they want that pat on the back now. Okay? We don't get appreciated up front. Hey, Shalom. Stop. I feel like I say this damn near every week. The Lord didn't tell us we was going to get appreciated on the upfront.
Right.
He told us we was going to get our appreciation on the back end. He said in the regeneration, you should sit on 12 thrones and receive 100-fold. Okay? Upon his return. But most people, they can't, they're not okay with that, brother. They want something now. Give me something now. You want to hit big, you got to be willing to take big risks.
Right.
Big investments.
Right.
You make a big investment, it don't feel good on the front end.
Nope.
You nigga, what he's like
You can see your returns at like 30, 40 years.
later, delayed gratification. But to actually be all in with delayed gratification, that's an inner man thing. That's not an outer man thing. That's not a fleshly thing. The flesh wants stuff. That's why you got fast food. That's an outer man behavior to want things right now. But to be down with the Lord, you gotta be cool with delayed gratification.
Right.
You had that?
The happy medium.
Yeah, happy medium. Yeah.
This is I just googled it. Happy medium is just a satisfactory compromise. Get there.
Yeah, you can get it much, but a satisfactory compromise. We understand that we promised some big shit. The biggest gift you could ever think of is promised to us. But as for right now, we have this seemingly humble position as prophets of Babylon. Okay? And you gotta be okay with that.
Happy medium, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary online, it says a good choice or condition that avoids any extremes.
Any extremes. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm chief high priest. No. I'm brother you are. Okay. I mean, I'm here to do the Lord's work.
All right.
That's it.
Right. Or you can be on the flip side, a person who beat yourself up all the time. And I just got too fast. I got to order.
Yeah.
You know.
A happy medium. Just slow and steady wins the race. I remember that nursery rhyme?
Yep.
Was that the turtle versus the rabbit?
Yep. The person here.
Yeah. Slow and steady wins the race, man. Every brother got their pace in which they're growing and developing. Okay? Just stay steady and keep pushing forward. All right? You have something?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is it was 9 and 19, right?
6 and 19.
It's Matthew 6 and 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon the earth.
So we listen in investments. Okay? So we're investing on the spiritual side of things. What does that look like in practice? I know I've been saying it a lot. It means you're giving your time to the Lord, reading, studying, doing the work, being an example of what Yahweh Shah was in the earth to the best of your ability. being a little version of him. That's how you deal with people and situations and everything that you do. First, ask yourself, how would the Lord deal with this situation?
Right.
And then you can proceed. Okay? That's what it looks like in practice. Go ahead.
Right. Matthew 6:19. Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon the earth, where moth and rust does corrupt.
Moth and rust does corrupt in here. Why? Because this place is allotted to destruction.
Right.
America, Babylon the Great, the so-called white man being a ruler. These are all temporary things. Okay? This is America, this society is a house set for demolition.
Right.
So you're not investing in this house that you know is going to be torn down. That's stupid. Okay, you got it. You want to say something? Okay.
No, I just want to say on top of that, that's why it's really important. Scriptures talk about striving for the masteries, right? And anything that you do, so something that you strive for, you're going to make that your priority, right? You know, so prioritize it, because everything in this, and you know, a lot of these jakes out here that are put in a certain position, they're striving for that corruptible crown. Ultimately, I know some bros may remember that video with Mike Tyson, where he had that interview with that dude and he was showing him on his belts. Mike Tyson took him out. He was just throwing all his belts on the floor, man. He's like, this is nothing to me. This is garbage. Why? Because he realized later that those are corruptible crowns, man. They don't mean anything. Because scripture talks about this place is soon getting ready to be dissolved. What manner of person are you to be in? Okay, you should be invested in the spirit. You should be invested in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right? Because with that investment, not only comes riches, but it comes protection, comes sovereignty, comes glory. Okay, and all those beautiful things that come with it. And it goes on to say, where rust does corrupt and where thieves break in and steal. Okay, so ultimately, like the priest is talking about, these things here have an expiration date, man. Okay, these things here will soon be dissolved, man. This place is going to be the biggest desert on the planet Earth. So what you're doing this time right now is the only thing that matters, man. Okay, and investing in this time right now, studying to show thyself approved.
Yes, I got some. Luke 12, and I'm going to start at 15 in the NLT. Then he said, beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own. Then he told them a story.
I'm sorry, that's just exactly what we stated earlier. We said Jacob equate their value with how much things they had. Yeah, that's yeah.
Shall I read that again?
Yeah.
Luke 12 and 15 in the NLT. Then he said, beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own. Then he told them a story. A rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. Then he said to himself, what should I do? I don't have room for all my crops. Then he said, I know, I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. Then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods. I'll sit back and say to myself, my friend, you have enough stored away for years to come. Now take it easy, eat, drink, and be merry. But the Most High said to him, you fool, you will die this very night. Then who will get everything you worked for? Verse 21, yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with the Most High. Yeah, like brothers are going into, man. Our people live their life based off, you know what I'm saying? They measure themselves on how much they own. They think, you know, niggas think that they got, just because they have a lot of possession, that they some goddamn body, man.
Right.
That don't mean that you ain't, you know, that don't mean you somebody, bro. And see, more than likely, you ain't shit. Because we already know that you consume, your mindset is totally consumed on earthly matters, man. You ain't thinking about the Lord, and that's the vast majority of our people. They don't think about the Lord. Niggas get on, well, yeah, if you wake up in the morning, you ain't thinking about money. I don't know what you doing. Nigga get up in the morning, oh, thank God, and then get to the money.
Yeah.
You know, everything else after that, they don't even mention the Most High, man.
Right.
You know?
People don't understand. They don't really think about what riches actually is.
Right.
Riches is basically a defense and a covering from circumstances. That's what money and riches give you. Defense for particular circumstances. It's a tool. Now, guess what's about to happen?
Yeah, I was about to say
When this society crashes,
right.
What's going to give you access to a defense from circumstances? Spiritual side. That's the spiritual riches.
Right.
So everything people perceive to be riches is really not riches.
Well, that's why Yahweh Shah, that's why
It tell you Deuteronomy 8:3 about man shall not live by bread alone,
Yeah.
but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord shall man live. Yahweh shall even quoted it. Like your brother said, our people live their life based on, you know what I'm saying, centered around bread. You know what I'm saying? What bread represents, it could be actual bread or it could be money, earthly possession, the physical substance, man.
Yeah.
You see, that's what they center their life around and they evolve around, man. You see, when it runs dry, then what? See, like the brother said, then what you gonna live? You ain't gonna have nothing, man.
Yeah.
You know? That's what the spirit, that's why you gotta understand that, you know, shit, we don't live by bread alone, man. If you understand this, it's all by the word of Yahweh Shem Shah, man. You know?
That's the theme of the lesson, man. There's no carnal solution to our spiritual problem. You got it, bro.
Yeah, this is Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. Right? Because ultimately, you know, as the scriptures talk about, actually, when you go up here, it says false balance is abomination unto the Lord. So you have to understand that you in captivity here, man. That's why scriptures talk about giving neither poverty nor riches, but meat that's good for me. Basically, roughly paraphrasing. All right, just you say it in your prayer on your day, and in the Lord's prayer. You know, give us this day our daily bread. All right, because if you are rich, ultimately on this side, it's going to pull you away from the things that need to be done. All right, you're going to be too consumed with this world. So yeah, you got to go to work, you got to pay bills, you have some extra money. Having money or having wealth isn't necessarily wicked per se, you know, but it's going to cause you to, you know, you have to be really stern in the spirit to be able to handle that.
That's a
And
strong,
most people are
that's a strong demon, man.
very strong.
Because possessions do just that. They
But that's
possess
you.
okay?
Hey, y'all, I was listening to y'all on the way up here. Y'all was talking about, you know, about saving and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Try to, you know, Jay getting the spirit of, I need 100. I need 100,000. Like, I need this and I need that, man. But the Lord is making it to where we need to rely on Him, man. Just like in the Psalm of the wilderness with the mountain. That's their daily bread. They have to go out daily and get their bread.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And if they tried to get more than what the Lord told them to get, what would happen? It was spoiled. Except on that certain day when the Lord said you can do double.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to know when. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, but it's something you got to figure out in the spirit. But like I said, the Lord is making it to where, just like back then, we had to rely on Him. See, at the end of the day, like you said, this shit is getting ready to run out. This physical money, all this possession that these people got, all this shit is about to crash. Then what?
And just say the prophet we were just bald, filthy rich. What would that do? That would take glory away from the outside. People would start to look at us like we was the fix.
Oh yeah.
So the Lord set it up to where, no, my son gonna get it first. Yeah, so for that to happen, you gotta be in a certain position.
Right.
No, you gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah, you know, Jake on, we gonna Jake on flex. We be out here, bro. Citizen watch on,
Yeah.
Rolex. You know what I'm saying?
That
Diamonds,
Jacob-
all this. You know what I'm saying? Big ass baguettes in the ear. Like Jake,
Got a ring on everything.
you just gotta
Yeah.
believe, brother.
Believe. The camera just glistening right here.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? It'll be packed out here.
Yep.
Because people people say they don't, but they really worship things.
Right.
They really worship money. Their God is man.
Yep.
When you hear these hoes, these things say, you get you a bag, nigga. I was driving up here, had the radio playing, and the song said, get that money, fuck that plan. Just fuck everything, just get money. That's the mindset that people have.
Right.
So what is that telling you? They worship money. They worship, that's their God.
Yep.
But it's getting ready to play out, since the Lord has it set up. And the only way you're gonna have access to what riches gives you, that covering, riches give you a covering, carnal. The only way you're gonna have access to a covering is if you were obedient.
Right.
Got something. Proverbs 18:10. The name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous running into it and is safe. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as in high wall, it in his own conceit. Right? So the righteous gonna run to, you know what I'm saying, the Heavenly Father. Right? That name, depending on him in time of trouble. The rich man, he's gonna depend on that money.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and the Most High got us in a humble state because, you know, if we had a lot of things it'll be hard to get those things up when in a time when we need to, bro.
Separate.
Yeah, man. You know, if you had a nice estate out there, you know what I'm saying, out there in the suburbs of you know, Dallas, Fort Worth, you know what I'm saying? In the state, that's what you got.
You got
You got
land.
half an acre. You ain't,
Yeah.
you know, you ain't got to see your neighbors if you don't want to, right?
Right.
You know, somebody drive up to your driveway, you looking at your window like, who is that? You're not in an apartment where you gotta hear motherfuckers stomping and shit. Nah, bro. You in a whole different type of
Yeah. That's when you go out there and prosper.
Yeah.
Frisco.
Gotta
And you drive somebody else, they got the gate
got the gate.
with their family emblem on it.
Yeah.
You got a buzz to get in.
Mm-hmm. Now think
That
about
can be hard to get.
it'd be hard to get what? You say,
Yeah,
hey, it's time to leave.
think about that. Think about your family and all that. They'll be like, what you mean?
That's what.
Yep.
Yeah, bro, it's fucking the state. They had something better than that. It was
Oh.
different.
Yeah, cattle. I'm talking about thousands of cattle.
Right.
That's a lot of money, brother.
Thousands of cattle. You gotta maintenance the cattle. You gotta have hire people to maintenance the cattle.
Yeah.
You gotta house them. You gotta feed them.
What Abraham's servants and Lot's servants, they had disputes to where, and they had so much riches they had to split.
It was like, hey, bro, look.
Look,
You know what I mean?
know,
Y'all got y'all shit on us. Look, bro. It was too much going on. And then we was just separate now.
Yep.
Damn. So look, Jake be out here hurt that you know they lost their apartment or their car got repoed. Think about if you had those kind of riches. A lot of people wouldn't be able to, do what the Lord required for them to do.
Exactly. So you attach to this world, and to be honest with you, like Elder Pastor Barr says, true riches, man, is having servants. You niggas got no servants, man.
Right.
Well, you still in captivity, and ultimately, you still gonna die.
Servant yourself.
Right? You're still gonna die at the end of the day, man. You know. So take that into account. That's why investing in the time that you have right now in your house outside, that you get that covering in. I just want to hit this real quick. This is one of my favorite ones here. This is Psalms 37:89 in MSG. It says, bridle your anger and trash your wrath, cool your pipes. It would only make things worse. Before long, the crooks will be bankrupt, and your Shemaiah's investors will own store.
Oh,
You see?
hard, man.
So ultimately, man, then what the Lord's telling you, ultimately, what is it going into? Just being patient, man. Doing the work, being patient. You can see everything out here going to shit. Just be patient. We gonna own it all. Going to shit. Second Ezra 6 on 54:58 says what? This world was made for our sake. So just be patient, Jay.
But not asshole.
It's like Sirach chapter 5 and verse 1. Okay, go. It says Sirach 5 and 1 in GNT. Says don't rely on money to make you independent. Says don't think you have to have everything you want and then spend your energy trying to get it. That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Jake think money is the answer to all their problems.
Right.
You see, but look at these celebrities. They got money and them niggas are still through. They hell. That's not the solution to our nation's problem. Money is not the solution, man. Right. See, it's these scriptures, man. Yahweh Shemaiah is the solution, man. That's what's gonna heal our nation, man. Like thus saith the scripture, man. That's what you see.
Hey, just like that one female, she's a Judite, but her family moved over to Russia in like the 1930s. And so she moved back over here with her mother and was raised here for a little bit, but then moved back to Russia. And so she's like, they made a documentary about her called Black in the USSR. And so she was like, it was like, she moved over there like 5 years ago. She's like, I feel so safe over here. I'm so happy over here. It's like she had a race encounter here in the U.S. So she moved over there. And, here recently, his brothers did sit down on this. She ended up getting jumped by a couple, basically. Throwing racist slurs at her, stuff like that. So all that, moving away and trying to accumulate more money. It didn't work because the curse is going to fall.
Yeah, the curses ain't in America. The curse is on you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That thing is, yeah, this game. Because as brother said all the time, we went to a church party with being. But it's not like the curse is going to follow us wherever we be.
Yeah.
We'll still be under the curse. Life probably will be a little bit better, but we'll still be under the goddamn curse.
Yep.
So the only solution again is F9:20. All right. But I wanted to finish that Matthew 65. That's the whole.
No. Okay, this is Matthew 6. I'll start back at 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon the earth, where moth and rust does corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust does corrupt.
There's an investment that you can make that is impossible not to hit. There's an investment that you can make that's going to hit bigger than any other investment can ever hit. And it's guaranteed. But it takes a little bit of suffering. Patience, same thing. To get to it. Go ahead, bro.
That's right. But lay up for yourselves treasure in the heavens, where neither moth nor rust does corrupt.
Now, I'll say this. A lot of Jacob hear this message, and they're like, man, what about, man, right now? What about right now, though?
Right.
That's the question. That's the thought that'll come in their head because they're still thinking like a mortal. The men up here that you're looking at, we understand death isn't final. We understand there's really no such thing as a limited amount of time. Okay? So this is going to be like a faint dream once we're changed and the Lord restores us. So, hey, our sacrifice is like just this a little for eternity.
Man.
Jake can't think straight because they don't understand how the Lord operates. They don't understand life. So they cling onto what they can see. And the things that you can't see, like it says in Hebrews, are much more powerful than the things that you can't see. Okay.
Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath,
Yeah.
but righteousness delivereth from death.
So, okay, it's right there. It's telling you the real riches is giving your time to the Lord, investing in Him.
Right.
That's what gives you access to the cover. It broke down earlier what riches really is.
Right.
It just gives you access to a defense.
Right.
It gives you access to avoid particular consequences and scenarios that don't come with the world. But what the Lord is getting ready to bring woes and plagues upon the earth. So the real riches in that time, at the time to come, which is very soon, is going to be if you invested in Him.
See, if I may add to just, when you look at, because the scriptures talk about uncertain riches. Okay, this USD is an exorbitant privilege or fiat currency, man. When you look at the things that happened in Venezuela a few years ago, they were taking their dollar bills and they were just plastering them on store windows, man, to cover the windows like curtains. All right, it wound up being nothing because it fluctuates. Okay, so the scriptures talks about riches fly away, man. The riches that we're talking about, the investment we're talking about is forever, man. Appreciates forever, man. Okay? What you got?
It's been like that in Venezuela for 15 plus years.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Man.
I met a girl on the plane time. I was like, well, you ever go back? She said, I'll never go back. I said, damn, you ain't gonna never go back home? Like, it makes no sense to me. Yeah, something.
Proverbs 19:1. Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool.
And that's a majority of people that even got fringes on, man.
Yeah.
They're not,
No, go ahead.
they're not giving you the fullness of what this gospel is about. They're
Right.
not preparing to flock. So they're sending their flock into this spiritual fight with no armor, no sword. Okay? They've taken away the name. Preparations to take away the name from you. They done told you it's in hell.
All right,
You know what I mean? They don't talk about the new bodies, which are really for the kingdom. They don't talk about all these things and how they're gonna play out in food. So now there's these big gaps that your congregation are missing when it comes to their walk. Big gaps of understanding. See? So when it comes time for them to fight and stand for what they believe in, they're not going to be as equipped to do it.
Well, in order for you to make a lot of money, you have to make it more palatable. Your message more palatable for your market.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? So certain things that please to the press, guess what? That's what you're gonna, introduce it to your message. That's why ISUBK got the marching, they're doing the cadences and they call themselves real niggas.
That's the prison. They can get this guy out of jail. For
Right, the hardcore, the middle-aged hardcore nigga.
Yeah. Nigga think he a street nigga.
Yeah, I'm still young, I'm still old, but I fight mentality.
Yeah.
That's it's appealing to the flesh. You know what I'm saying?
They put their value in their bottom.
Right. Not in your house shop. You know what I'm saying? And they put themselves in a very compromising situation. Because they don't think what's going on with the northern tribes is going to affect them, but it will very soon.
It's starting to. Even. You got the, Haitians. I know down there in Florida, I can guarantee you, you got a lot of, Haitians and a lot of them cats down there and Jamaicans, Levi, they get rounded up. Man, because down there, if we were down there, we would look like them.
Yeah.
They would make no difference, bro.
I grew up in little hey.
Hey.
And the Lord judging their ass too.
Yep.
Because even the Haitians, they look at the American black, they look down at them too. They look at Jake. For those who don't know, a lot of Haitians, they look at Jake like anything fight back.
Yeah. Look at man soft.
They look at you like
Yeah.
oh no, yeah. They look down at you because they fought for their independence.
Well, I have a specific situation.
They won. I ain't taking that from them, brother. I'm just saying that they got this disdain.
Right.
So the Lord gonna humble all the tribes. So all the tribes got something that they feel like, but the Lord being to humble everybody. We know ourselves for sure. The only thing that gives us value is our connection with the Lord. Our connection with the husband. If we don't got that, we don't got nothing. If you don't got that mentality, the Lord ain't gonna be fucking with you. Go ahead. You about to say something?
No, I was just gonna say when I was,
From
Florida, from Miami as well, and I was working down there in the hotels. I'll never forget it. They had this. He was making a Haitian once, and he came through the door, man. He was just jeweled out, man, gold everywhere. And he stopped, and I'm concierge by the door. Dude looked at me, and he was like, "It's like you American niggas ain't shit, man." I was sitting there kind of like, "Damn," and that's exactly what he said. You weak. You guys didn't fight for your independence. You down here like slaves. Bro, cuss me fuck out, bro. I didn't even know this dude.
My thing is this, like, nigga, your country is boo-boo, bro.
Here, nigga.
Nigga, you by Judah compromising, this is why you eat right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you know Judah's the head tribe, bro. Judah is a head tribe because people resent Judah, but they cannot help but to emulate Judah, bro. They cannot help but everybody. It's a disdain, envy, and admiration that they have for Judah. Judah's the head tribe.
Right. And when you look at what, the islands down there, it's like, how did they get there? It's spelled left hand base. Why do you think Lord fucking them islands up down there, Haitian and Haiti and all that?
Yeah.
The Lord been putting in work down there, man. Because y'all went and got that on left hand means, man.
Yeah, the Lord brought them low. Remember, because going back to the Lord's time, that they balling.
Yeah.
He brought them low, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's in the Northern Kingdom. But let me say this: they said in Chicago, the Chicago camp, they said it hit the Northern Kingdom first, but it hit the Southern Kingdom worse.
Yep. I said the same.
The Southern Kingdom don't get it the worst.
Yep, they got the worst.
And that's gonna play out again, man.
Yep.
Because the Esau know that if he could screw Judah over, then he got us.
What's that? Jeremiah the 50th chapter. It gives us all these wayward doctrine, stuff like that, so he could get the home. That's basically what he does.
Yep.
But even with the Haitians, man, you gotta think, you know, they were able to win their independence against Leopold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, around the time when America won their independence, but these various European countries didn't recognize them
Yeah.
as a country.
Right.
So they were they were barred from international trade,
Yeah.
making them, you know what I'm saying, making them, you know, poor, on top of the fact that the French made them pay reparations,
Yes.
even though they won the war.
They was dead.
So they were in debt. Now, how did they pay the debt?
It came.
They did. They got loans from America,
Yeah.
which they didn't pay off until the 1990s. Okay, on top of various schools that were set up by those tears,
Yeah.
because you have a colorism that's very bad in Haiti.
Oh yeah.
Very bad in Haiti. Somebody who's considered light skinned is considered white.
Yep.
Because most of the people who are so-called light skinned there, they're tears.
Yeah.
So the whole term mulatto, things of that nature, that was really coined then. You know what I'm saying? So say all I have to say, you can get your independence, you can fight for independence, you can do all those things, but that curse is always going to be there until your Howard Shot comes.
Right. But hey, all the mentality that all the tribes got, the Lord gonna recognize that. The Lord gonna show you that you nothing without him. He gonna get he the one that gotta get the glory. He the one that's gonna be praised. You understand? All the tribes got some bullshit going on. His card, clean the race phrase they got. I don't know how you say it in Spanish. They got a saying, they say clean the rasa. Don't he tell their daughters not to date niggas.
Mhm.
It's a saying they got. Somebody on the company work put it on. It's a saying they say in Spanish. They clean the race.
That's okay.
The Dominicans,
Yep.
they look at Judah like, oh, I'm not you.
Yeah,
I know black. I know black.
Trying to salt that
Godfrey said, yeah, he said try to dance that shit. I know, nigga, you a nigga.
Yep.
This white man look at you the same way he look at us.
Right.
He look at us, the evil, the same way he look at us. Okay, he look at Asher the same way he look at us.
Right. Now you see now what the devil is doing. Right, coming at the northern kingdom, we got Alligator, Alcatraz. Right, you got these cargo ships that are just filling. They're just filling the northern kingdom up, man, strapping them up. You know, foot and ankle like hog tied and tossing their ass off cargo planes, man, into the middle of the ocean, man. But you want to tell me that you ain't you're not Yasharala? See, this man's gonna let it be known, man, why you've been clinging on this man, especially in Miami, which I will say a lot of them Venezuelans, because a lot of them down there look like Edomites until you kind of you listen to them talk, but you look at their shape, you can tell like, no, but that blonde hair, blue eyed, them Venezuelans down in Miami, man, you can't tell them they not no Edomites, man. Okay? Yeah, so and some of them are, that's true. But now we coming into this time now where now all things are being revealed, man. Okay, all these people that have came through here, you know, through the Bering Straits, all these different nations, Iranians and all these different ones, and why he getting out Issachar? Why he getting out the northern tribe only right now? You see? And best believe these cats are these cargoes and these Alcatraz, the Lord got you there because at one point enough, you heard this truth.
Yep.
You heard this truth, man, and you scoffed at it, you know, waved the hand or whatever the case may be, and that's why your ass is there.
There's a substantial amount of Latino-only Israelites